All right. Tier 3. Okay. So here's how a Tier 3 student might look. They're in Tier 1, and that really wasn't rolling along very well. We get in Tier 2, and let's make believe we tried a couple of things, and it just isn't really working. Tier 2 here. Then we get into we start working here, and I should have this fly in, but at this point, this is not Tier 3. You can still see it. Okay, at this point, it's not Tier 3. We're in our second intervention for Tier 2. But we notice that, wait a minute, I think we've hit it. We're on an uphill trajectory. So this here intervention is working. And along the way, we're now getting it 5 times a week because we made some tweaks here. Instead of 3 times a week, we're getting it half an hour instead of 20 minutes. And we've come upon the formula for success for this student. But if we look at that arrow, that is not going to intersect in the near future, although it is heading up. So this is what's known as a dual discrepancy situation, where the first discrepancy is his baseline performance is well below the mean or the norm. So that's the first discrepancy. The second discrepancy is that his rate of improvement is such that it's not going to intersect with this by the time the end of the school year comes. So with those two things in place, many teams are using those as 2 elements to suggest that, yeah, we're going to be in the long haul and we're going to stick it out with this youngster. So, special educators, their role has changed. So far we've been talking about what's happening with these classroom teachers, but their role has changed dramatically too. The big thing is they've had to look at some of the practices they've been engaging in for the past few years to make sure that the programs and strategies and intervention they're using with their instruction with kids have a research base for success. Okay? The other thing they're doing is they now have to collect data more frequently. In the past, they were only collecting data twice a year. That's not okay, because what do you think was happening at the end of the year? They would say, oops, we didn't meet that goal. Well, that's not okay, because now we just wasted a whole chunk of time. They're also being required to look at, not being required, but looking at fidelity and integrity as part of the model, that many of the programs that they're using require explicit steps in order to be presented appropriately, and they require training. So what's happening now with special education folks who are providing these Tier 3 instructors, they're being more attentive to what are those steps and what do I need to do